you know, let's see how REST client is going to interact with your REST API. So REST client could be anything, right? It could be your mobile application. It could be anything. I'm telling you. Right now, who is REST client? Any guess? Postman. And then remember, I'm using Postman. The Postman is my REST client, right? But it could be anything. It could be, HTTP client library also. Clear? So if you want to access your REST API, what different thing you need? Any guess? We need URL. We need method, get post. Hey, what method we use in REST API? Any guess, guys? Delete, post, get, patch, put. These are the different method which we can use in the REST API. When Prabhat may be teaching you, Spring Boot MVC, he may be using post and get. I hope you know post and get, right? Delete, patch, put. You may be listening first time, all right? Yeah. So you need URL, you need method. Here you need to mention accept. Accept means, any guess? This attribute goes in the header. Accept basically tells in what kind of format you want to accept data from the server. Second one is content type. Content type says what format you want to send data from client to server. Then we have request payload. Anybody have idea request payload means? What kind of data you want to send in the request body?
It's
That's
a
it.
payload that is that has to do with like what it's called like
Yeah, yeah. Payload
internet.
means, yeah, yeah. You are
Yeah.
sending data from the client to server. That is called payload. So when you make a request, it contains two parts. You know it, header and body. Make sense? Hello? So whatever data you send in the body, that is called payload. I hope I'm making myself clear or confusion.
It's
Guys, you're
clear.
taking time.
Yeah, payload is
Can
just
you
a header.
Right. So,
can you Mr. Nagin, can you explain one more time?
yeah, yeah. What payload?
Yes, payload.
Okay, okay. Payload means if you make some REST call, you have to always pass input. You would say, hey server, my input is this. Please process this and give me the response. So whatever input you are passing to call your REST API, that is called input payload. Is clear to you? A request payload. And whatever data will come from the server to client, that is called response payload. Your manager can ask with you, can you tell me your request payload? What is the structure of it? Could you please describe your response payload? Is clear or is still confusion? I can answer it. Hmm?
Yeah,
Say yes or no, please. It's clear.
it's clear.
So when you make a REST call, first of all, your call will go to the server, right? On Tomcat, where your application is running. On server, there is a servlet. You know servlet? Yeah. On server, because of REST API, Spring MVC based, there is a servlet that is called dispatcher servlet. Your request will go to first where? Dispatcher servlet. Is clear to everybody? Yeah. Dispatcher servlet. And dispatcher servlet will forward your call
Again,
to the.
I'm sorry
Please tell me.
interrupting you.
No problem at
Uh,
all.
is Tomcat server a dispatcher server?
Tomcat server is a. Give me a second. I'm just getting call. Just a second.
Okay.
Can you hear me? I'm back.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 So First of all, your call will go to the dispatcher servlet, and dispatcher servlet calls handler. No need to take much tension about it. Okay, just see like algorithm, and this handler will forward your call to the controller. In REST API, everything is controller. Yes, you know. Yesterday you have seen people. See, you have to say no if you don't understand. Let me explain you with the help of code. You see this one. You guys understand or confused, right? Like this.
Yes. Understood.
So see the flow. I am telling you again. Not no need too much tension. And in this, you are calling this REST API, right? Mobile. Please, I'm not expecting yes. If you don't understand, say I don't understand. Not a problem. Hmm? I'm not in hurry. So you make a REST call. Then when you make the REST call, what you are going to do? You are going to type this URL pattern. You have to say yes, right? This URL pattern, right? When you type it, your request will go to the dispatcher servlet. Your question may be, what is the dispatcher servlet? Dispatcher servlet basically comes with Spring, right? So when you make a call in REST API, it will go to the dispatcher servlet, and servlet will forward your call to the handler, and handler will forward your request to controller, right? And as per the mapping, you have mobile mapping, it will go to this method. People, I make you confused or you got it? It comes
What is
only, right?
handler exactly?
Yeah. Handler is a basically class which forward your request from dispatcher servlet to controller. That's it. It is a mediator in between. Hmm?
So
That's it.
dispatcher servlet and the handler both happens inside the spring.
Yeah. This is the part of the
So
Spring.
that means we can't see it, right?
Exactly.
It
So
is a
please,
part of
Naveen,
front.
so my question was, is Tomcat server dispatcher server?
okay. Your question is difference between Solid and Tomcat. Everything is running inside the Tomcat, right? Hello. So whatever
Yes.
I'm showing you, everything is running inside the Tomcat container.
Mhm.
Clear? So
Okay.
Tomcat is a server which is responsible for up and running your application. I think this is one of the good question. Whoever asked question, I think that is very nice. Clear? So let me
Mhm.
tell you, Tomcat? Tomcat is a server, and Tomcat instantiate a JVM, right? And inside JVM, your whole application runs. So your application runs inside Tomcat or inside JVM?
Inside JVM.
Inside JVM.
Exactly. Somebody saying inside Tomcat. That is correct, man. Inside the Tomcat, inside the JVM, because Tomcat creates Java virtual machine, and inside JVM, your application runs. Is clear?
Mhm.
Yeah. So my friend, once your request come to this and it is processed, can you see this? In this, what we are doing, we are creating an object of mobile. Guys, let me know if I'm moving fast, okay? You are making an object of mobile. Then what happened? Finally, when you return mobile from this method, it is important point, guys. What I'm saying, when you return mobile, right? You are returning or not?
Mhm.
Yeah. When you return mobile object from here, this mobile object, right? Before going to the requested client as a response, what happened? It is converted into JSON format. Oh my God. The moment when you return your Java object, it is going to convert into JSON. Who is going to do this job? Any guess?
Server.
Is server. Very nice. And server does this job with the help of a component that is called Jackson Mapper. Which framework it uses? Jackson Mapper. Please reply. What is the job of Jackson Mapper? What your object you are returning,
The raw
it is
data.
going to convert into JSON data, right? And this JSON data would be the part of payload. Make sense? Yeah. And this JSON data will be the part of this payload, and this response eventually goes to client, right? So let me give you the point, right? Point number one, point number two, point number three, point number four, point number five. A point number five, it goes to the controller. Point number six, it does processing. Anand talks about service layer, DAO layer. It will come in the inside point number 6. So 7 and eventually 8, 9. 8 you can say Jackson mapper comes in the picture. Hey guys, if you don't understand the flow, let me know please. I would like to answer again. Anybody is there who does not understand this flow?
Yes, you can repeat one more time.
Yeah. What I said. When you make a request, you will hit this URL. Say yes.
Yes.
When you make this, when you hit it as per the post, as per the IP and port number, it will go to the server, right? Tomcat server. And because of mobile store and this URL pattern, it goes to the mobile store application and then mobile URL pattern, right? It would say, hey, display servlet, I am looking for mobile URL pattern. Handler will say, I know. Let me forward you to the URL pattern which is mapped with the mobile. Can you see this? It matches. Then it goes to the method. This method is creating mobile object and setting the state of it, and eventually it is returning it, right? When it is returned, why it is converted into the JSON data? Any guess? Because of REST controller. Who will tell me? I am returning a Java object and it is converted into a JSON data because of which notation?
REST
JSON
controller.
Controller.
So REST controller only says whatever object I'm going to return, you have to convert into raw data. But REST controller converts it, or REST controller takes help. It takes help.
Takes help.
Jackson mapper. REST controller says, hey, Jackson mapper, please, can you convert my Java object into JSON? That's it. Clear? Your question may be Jackson mapper is coming from where? When you added a dependency yesterday, Jackson mapper is already here. I can show you. Do you like to see?
Yes.
Yes. So let me show you. In this, if you see very carefully, there would be a Jackson mapper. JSON path is there, but Jackson mapper should be there. JSON smart, Jackson path, top. Can you see this?
Yep. Jackson
Yep.
code.
This is the part of it. Jackson data binding, annotation, code, data type, all are the part of the Jackson mapper. Yeah. Guys, just be honest. You got this much?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I got.
Okay. REST. So we have two parts, REST client, and in our case, REST client is Postman, right? But it could be mobile application, it could be other application, it could be anything. I'll show you, right? Can you make a REST call from Java? Of course you can do it. I'll show the example. So this is the typical flow of it, right? Done. Okay, you don't confuse with DTO. View, value object. Value object is nothing. It's a Java class. And why it is called value object? In Java, there is a class which is
Good.
used to exchange data from outside the application. You would say that is view or DTO. What I said? Your question will be, Nagen, why you are not giving name mobile to it? Reason? Because VO stand for value object. This is a class which is used to exchange data from outside the application. Then you can make it either VO or DTO. This is the convention only. Done. So yesterday I was talking about REST API. I would like to talk about definition of it. What is REST API? REST API is a technique which allows my application to exchange data in JSON format, in XML format, in XML feed format, in TXT format, basically in raw representation format. Clear? So REST API generally does not return HTML data. No. It HTML data. HTML data has very fancy data. Yes or no? Button, text field. Yes or no? So do you understand rich text data and raw data? Rich text data. Who will tell me the difference? And raw data.
I think the rich text data is readable, but the raw data
Yeah,
is not readable. So
yeah, you can
so
say
for
like
the
that. Okay. Raw data is also readable, but it's not fancy, right? But rich text data is fancy, right? You the button,
It doesn't
color,
have proper meaning.
Yeah, you can say like, when you are dealing with JSP, right? JSP always produce HTML content, right? That is very fancy. Yes, when you render in browser, it will show you very nicely. Yep. But raw data, is not it's not beautiful, you can say, right?
So
But
JSON format is like raw data, right?
raw data, you can read it and parse it and show it in our fashion. You want to show as HTML representation, you want to show on mobile, you want to show it on right, some other technology, you can easily show it, right? How? You will apply the CSS on it. Am I right? You can use HTML tag, CSS, and you can make it beautiful to show it, to represent it. Hmm? Yeah. Anybody have any question, query? I can tell you very quickly what I did yesterday. In order to create a REST API, yesterday what I did from the online using one website, right? Spring Boot input output. Remember? From there, I created a project, and after that, I imported my project over here, right? So in pom.xml file, already we have dependency for Spring Boot. Remember, I have only one jar. This is for test cases. We'll talk about test cases in much detail. Clear? What is JUnit test cases and all that? That is, I'll teach you. And after it, I created this main application. This is Spring Boot main application, right? This is basically used to start your application as a standalone. So your application should be annotated with the Spring Boot application, and it should have main method. Main is always starting point of the program, which is called by the Java virtual machine main thread. And this line is basically used to bootstrap your application. Spring application.run, and here I'm passing the same name, whatever class name is. After it, I'm creating my REST API. Can you see this, guys? Why REST controller? You say it is a special annotation which facilitate your method to take JSON input and produce JSON output, or which could be raw data. Clear? And one important point I'm telling you today, in my REST API, people, in my REST API, whatever method you have, please, this is one of the important thing we are talking about. In REST API, whatever method we have, every method is mapped with unique URL. That's correct. If you want to call find mobile, which URL you have to use? Mobile. Say yes. So in Spring, in REST API, whatever method you design, every method is annotated with unique, sorry, every method is mapped with unique URL. Say yes or no.
Yes.
Yeah. So as per the REST API terminology, the method which is mapped with unique URL, right? And it gives you the data. Yes or no? When you call this method find mobile, you can call with the help of URL. So these are the special method. Noor, are you me? What I said
Yes.
is the special method which is called by URL. That is correct.
Yes.
This is, let me tell you, this is special method called
Without mapping, it doesn't work actually.
right. This is special method called by URI. That's why it is called.
What is a URI?
Yeah, good question.
It's a
That's why
complete
that's why
address. You
yeah, that's why it is called resource. Nice. This is special method called by URI. That's why it is called resource. Nice. Let me answer URI and URL. See, you can open some website. You know my Gmail. Can you see this, guys? The here main part, right? This is called URL, right?
the remaining
And
is
yeah, and all together it is called URI. So who is the superset? URI or URL?
URI.
URI. He's right.
Mhm.
What does I
URI is
stand
the,
for?
pardon,
What does I stand for?
identifier.
Identifier. Okay.
Uniform resource locator, uniform resource identifier. Got it? That's what I'm
So
saying here.
do-
URI.
because with a URL we can reach only one thing, like one website. But if you would like to reach anything inside a website, or we have to use URI. Through URI we can reach everything, every point.
Exactly. URL is the specific thing. URL is the common, right? On top of it, you can add something, and that's become URI. So question is, what is the resource? Guys, in REST API, the method which you map with unique URI represent the data called resource. So I can say resource is the conceptual entity. This is a definition. Conceptual entity mapped with, sorry, entity mapped with unique URI. Resource is a concept entity which is mapped with unique URI and represent data. What it does? Represents data. Is called, that's fine. Hello. In REST API, you might have heard about this kind of terminology. I'm creating the resource. Are you following me? Creating means you are posting, right? I am updating the resource. You can use put. I am deleting the resource. You can use delete. I'm partially updating the resource. You can use patch. I'm fetching the resource. You can use get. Understood? So in real life, what operation you perform normally? Any guess? All these 5 operation. You can
Post,
create
post,
resource.
delete.
Yeah. Patch means partial update. Put, you are updating entire data. Patch means you are doing partial update. We'll talk about practically. So resource is clear to everybody. What is resource? Man, in
Yes.
REST API, every method is called resource. Why? Because this method is mapped with unique URI and it represents data. Done. Anybody have any question query before moving to the next topic?
Again, so you're saying that the whole thing with the get mapping is your resource
Yeah.
from
The
public
method,
from the whole method, yes.
yeah, whole
With the
method itself.
okay.
Yeah. So I would say this is a resource, right? And map with mobile. Slash mobile and point is a pointing to resource. Mobiles is pointing to resource. Done. So if you understand this much, I'm good. Let's move to the next. So here, guys, see, here I'm not sending any input. Yes or no? Today I'm going to send the input. Hmm. Help me, public. And I'm going to make a new class or no, not new class. Let's return this response itself. Basically, I'm saying create a mobile. You know what I'm saying? And here I'm fetching the data. Here I want to send the data. I can use this annotation request body. What this annotation is doing?
Request
If you,
param.
yeah, this you might know request param, but I'm using request body. This is
We're
used to
sending the
create
whole thing in the body, whatever we have. We're
whatever data
requesting.
we are sending in the body. I'm reading it from there and binding with this. I'll show you the help of flow, then it will be more clear to you. And here I want to use which annotation? Post mapping. My computer becomes very slow. Cool. Let me do that. Post mapping is good for you, right? When you do post mapping, I'm doing here mobiles. Can you see this? Slash mobiles. Here you may be confused. This and this is same. Yes, you know, but they are differing in terms of get and post. When you say get, it will call this. When you say post, it will call this. Make sense? Yeah. After it, what I'm doing, soon I will save in database, right? But I'm just printing it. Please
When we
reply.
say like this, get, we're getting data, post, we're sending data.
Exactly. That's correct. That's correct. In this mobile view, I'm just creating random ID, right? How to create random ID? You know it. Random dot next. Can you see this? Yep. Then you can return it. Anybody have any question query? Or it's clear to you?
Yeah, you can repeat again.
Yeah. Now here what I'm doing. Basically, I'm sending the data to this endpoint, right? When I send my JSON data, it will be accommodated with this object using this annotation. Let me show you the flow of it, right? After you know it, right? Same object. After updating the ID, I'm returning it back. Let me show you the example. That's fine. Yeah. Anybody can tell me how to run it? Right click and run as Java application. Is clear? Yeah. Please reply. Run as a debug as Java application if you want to debug it. My dear friends, I really need your help, right? I need to call this endpoint with post. Important. This is very, very important. I'm going to talk. So yesterday, see, post, yesterday I was hitting everything from the browser. Is it right or not? It was right,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
But post method you cannot hit from the browser. Post you can only hit from the some tool
Postman.
like Postman. If from browser you can make only get call, not post. I'm coming to the Postman. Can you see this? In Postman, I'm typing this. Can you see this URL? And here I should make mobile or mobiles. Mobiles. Can you see this? Hello. Mobiles, right?
Yes, exactly.
Confused? No. And
No.
method is post. Here you see we have all the method get, post, put, patch, delete, copy, blah, 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 blah. Fine. I'm going to use post. And see, when you use post, you can see the body here. In this body, you can send the data body. You have to say body and you have to use raw. Raw means I'm sending raw data in the body. Can you see this? Yeah. So guys, you are saying I want to make a post call to this URL and in the body, you select the raw option. And here I want to send the JSON data. So guys, if you want to send JSON data, if you write the data from your side, it will take time. I just want to make get call first. Why? If you make a get call, it will give you the JSON data and same JSON data I can use as the input. I'm smart. Can you see this? People, I got the JSON data.
Yeah.
This JSON data I can use in the post and mobiles and I can put this raw and this body. Why I've been doing like this? Because I'm lazy. After that, MID will be auto generated, right? Other thing you can set it. See, curly bracket open and close, JSON data. Color is one of the attribute of my Java object. Yes or no? You should use only those attributes which are present here. Can you see this? Color, vendor, price, and description. Hmm? And it must match with this color, red. Vendor, hello. You can use Nokia. And price, $900. Hey, anybody have any question query regarding this data?
No.
No. So when you make a call, right? So let me create a diagram for it. I told you already, right?
But Nogan, I don't have a Postman. I have to install separately.
Yeah. You can install it as a desktop.
Okay.
You can go and download Postman for desktop, and you can click, and you can do it.
Sure. Thanks.
So see, this data will go in the request payload. Say yes. When you make a call, whatever data you are feeding over here, it will go as a request payload. Agree or not? Yeah. I told you, right? You are making a request
Yes.
and this data will go as a request payload. All this
Yes.
data. Right. Let me put it, right? Yeah. And in header, what goes? It contains, other detail like what kind of data you are expecting, what kind of coding style you are using, what kind of URL you are going to hit, what kind of method you are using, get post, right? All those detail goes inside the header. Mhm. Yeah. So when you make a call, right? Your request will go to the, the flow I talked about, man. Or that complex flow, tick, tick, tick. And eventually it will go where? Controller. Clear? Say yes, sir.
Yep.
Eventually it goes to the controller like this.
You mean REST
Hmm?
controller?
Yeah. Yeah. So when you make the request and which URL pattern is going to match, man? Mobiles. Can you see this? This is going to match with this one. Am I right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mobile store is the context path of my application. You know the funda. Only URL pattern matters, right? After that, your data is in the request body. So request body is saying what your data is coming in the request body. Are you with me? This JSON data, who will read this JSON data? Any guess? This
I think
annotation. Request body is saying I am the annotation. I can read the data from the incoming request body, and this JSON data will be converted into Java object. Nice. But what is the prerequisite, Anand? Prerequisite is whatever attribute you have in the JSON key, it must match with the class which you are using over here. Am I right?
Right.
So whatever attribute is coming from the client as a payload in the request, it must match with the attribute. Can you see this? Yep. Anand, your question should be, if some of the attribute is not matched, what happened? That data won't be populated. Mhm.
Then
Suppose
Jackson
you do,
mapper will return back to the.
no, it will ignore it.
Okay.
Suppose only 3 attributes are matched, only those attribute will be populated. Clear?
Okay.
After that, you are generating random this and you are returning Java object. What happened again? The Java object will be again converted back. OBJ, right? It is going to convert into
Java, the
JSON data.
JSON data. Yeah.
Right. And eventually it will go and render as a response in the Postman. That's it. I hope you can, sorry, I hope you understand this much or got
Yep.
confused.
I understand.
That's it. I
Nagin,
want,
can you go to the previous slide, please? So
which
what
slide?
what
This
is
one?
this line? Set meet new random dot next int. What is
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Good question. See, once data comes, before sending it back, I'm just creating a random ID. New dot random dot next ID. It will create a random number up to 901. From 1 to 901. You got it? Hello? This code will do nothing. It just create a random number. Hmm. I have just wrote the code in shortcut. That's why it's looking like that. Okay. But in real life, what you can do? You can write like this. Please reply. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Nothing. It will just return the new number and I'm
You just
setting it in
it's
the
just written new ID. Okay.
yeah. Creating new ID. That's it. Fine. But in real life, this ID comes from database. You know it, right? Can I try if you allow to me?
But then
Clear?
after, I have one questions. Again, so when this data is sent back to the postman, then after whatever we are expecting, the user expecting, it's going back to the browser.
Yeah. Whatever data, no, it will come in the Postman, right? Because
Right.
you are making call from Postman, so you know
Right.
this is general funda. When you make a call, right, your response will go to the caller always. If Postman is
Okay.
making call, response will go to the Postman. If browser is making call, response will go to the browser.
Okay.
Okay, so click it. When you click it, I'm running in debug mode, right? Uh, okay, can you see this error? Content type is txt plain. Hello, not supported. Guys, what you need to do? See, when this error comes, right? It's saying you are sending JSON data and header you mention you are sending txt plain. That is wrong. Actually, we should mention in the header, what you should mention, man? You should mention in the header what? Content sorry, content type. Can you see this? Instead of txt plain, you can mention application slash JSON. Anand, important.
Mm-hmm.
Here, instead of txt plain, you can type application slash JSON. If you're not able to type it, then click on the body and here you can choose JSON. JSON means you are saying, hey server, I am sending JSON data in my request payload. Clear? If
Clear.
you write txt, server will reject it. Same thing happen. Then this is one of the important mistake which we can do when you are sending JSON data in the request payload. Is clear? Choose JSON and click on it. When you select JSON, what happen? In header, it becomes your accept becomes /star. /star means I can accept anything, right? But if you want to accept JSON, you can type application slash JSON. Done. Like my request came over here. You see the data, guys? Yeah. Hello. Whatever data I sent from there, rate, description, everything I got as it is. And ID would be generated over here. Am I correct? Can you see this? 612. This next int will generate the number between 1 to 901 only. It's clear? Now, when you say go next, this object will be converted into JSON and it will be sent back to the browser. You see here? Hello? This is my response. Yes or no? Please reply.
Yeah.
Bottom here, if you click on the top body, it will show you the request and this is the response payload. I just put over here. Nice. You got the flow or you confused? Let me write the step. Step number 1, type the URL pattern, right? Step number 2, set the request payload. Step number 3, make a call to the REST API. Step number 4 is doing the conversion. Anybody can tell me what is the use of request body? Answer is request body is the annotation which takes a raw data from request payload and convert into Java object. I'll write it. And step 5, you're returning object, and step 6, it is going to convert into JSON data. Who is doing this job? Jackson mapper. Step 7, it goes to requested client. Hey, what this request body annotation is doing? This question goes to this question goes to me. Request body is doing what? Any guess? This is reading
Response
Raw
data
data to
from,
JSON data.
yeah, this is reading data from request
Request payload
So yeah,
payload and
converted
converting
into Java object.
Java object. Nice. Done. Yeah. Okay. I think this is clear to everybody. Nobody have any question query. I want this really you can do without referring anything, right? I would say you have to make the REST API for this. You can say I can do it, right? So we have done create, we have done get. You want to make delete? Yeah. So basically my purpose is I want to delete the mobile. So here method name you have to change. Are you following me? Delete. And when you delete mobile, I don't want to return the Java whole mobile view. I want to return some message. I have to make another class, Anand, because in this I want to return only few JSON thing, right? I want to return code and I want to return message. You know why I'm making it? Yeah, I want to show message of my choice, right?
yep.
So you can do it, message. And don't forget to make getter and setter, you know it. If Lombok is there, no need to do it. Lombok basically works at compile time. And when your code is going to compile into Java bytecode, then it generate getter setters
Yes.
and toString, everything whatever you want, right? We'll make it soon. Hey, why I'm making application view? Because I don't want to return mobile view object. So in which case, man, I want to I want to delete the mobile, right? Same
Right.
endpoint. But here, when you want to delete the mobile, I want to send some parameter. Parameter you can send as a request param. You know request param? Yeah, not this. In the URL, right? Prabhat has might have be taught you right in Spring Boot MVC.
Yeah, yeah. Because yeah.
Again,
So
I have a
request,
question.
of course, man, MID.
What is the difference between the request param and the request body?
Yeah, yeah. Request body takes data from the input payload, right?
Yes.
Which comes in the raw format. It may be a JSON and XML, right? But here you are just sending one parameter either as a form parameter or you are sending in the query param. These are the different style of sending the data. Request body you can use when you are sending a lot of data, right? Large data in the body as a JSON and XML. Clear? But here you are sending just ID, a mobile ID in the URL or as a query param or form param, form data. Understood? Oh man, there is a different style of sending data from client to server. You can send as a part of URL, you can send as a part of form parameter, you can send as a part of raw data. So this is used to read raw data incoming coming from client. Mhm.
If
Hello.
you make it a little bit more with request form, that means you have to write every single thing, so which is impossible. That's why it's sending small amount of data.
Yeah. Another thing is, suppose you have 100 attribute. Do you think it's good to write 100 times request param, request param, request param? People will kill you, right? So this is actually, yeah, this is actually more flexible, right, and versatile. Hey, here I want to use delete mapping. Why? Because I want to delete the data. Confused? Oh man, I
No
want to
confused.
keep my URL same, right? If you want to fetch, use this. If you want to create, use this. If you want to delete, use this. So you want to delete which mobile data, man? Any guess? I'll make it this tomorrow end to end, okay, with database. And same thing I'm expecting from you, okay? Deleting what, man? Mobile record from database. We'll make it soon, okay? Maybe next session. And here what I want to return. Oh man, you have to just make a Java object. Automatically it will be converted into JSON format. Who will convert it? This annotation. Understood?
Yeah.
And here you can set the message. What, man? I want to set the message, set code. I want to make it 200 and message. Any guess? Hey, your mobile data is deleted successfully. Hey, I make you confused or you got this much?
Got it.
So when you it will be converted into this, right? Yeah. So I have done how many operations? Almost all the operation. If you want to make update, the same method you can use. Can you see this? Same method, man. Only you have to write here update. Hey, what is going to be changed for update? Instead of post, you can write put. Anand, same thing. Tell me what is the difference between update and create? Nothing. In create, you are creating the data, right? In this, you are updating the data, but in this, you will pass the primary key. Am I right? Hmm.
Right.
In this, we have to pass
Primary.
primary key of the record.
Record.
Yeah, this is the difference between create and update. Hello, same thing, right? Here, instead of returning whole data, you can return the message. It is up to you, man, what you want to do. It is a part of your design. Clear? Normally in update, we return normal message, but you can do anything, right? Yeah, got my point. So this endpoint will update your data. This endpoint will create the resource. This endpoint will delete the resource, right? And this you can write in other way, Anand. In really, if you want to write it, you can send this data as a part of the URL, right? But here you can send data as a part of the URI. URI means you can send data as a part of the URI. You have to use the curly bracket, Anand. And here you can write any name of your choice, right? Variable name. I'm just writing MMID. It's okay. And this
Yep.
parameter, I want to bind with the method parameter. I can use path variable. This is the last for today. So what path variable notation does? It is used to read data from incoming URI and bind with the method parameter, right? So my URI name is Anand, this one, and you
Yeah.
want to bind with this.
Yeah.
So what this notation does, let me write it. This is used to read
Data
data
from the URI.
from incoming URI. That's
Incoming
correct. That's
URI.
correct. Yeah. Used to read data from incoming URI. That's fine. Incoming URI and binds with method parameter. I make you confused, guys, or you got it? I'll show you how you can hit it, right? If you want to hit it, what you need to do? You have to use mobile and a mobile URL pattern, and you have to pass your data as a part of it. You know what will the URI, Anand?
URI or URL?
URI.
You put
And
URL over there.
yeah,
Incoming URL, you put in there, right?
sorry. Good catch, good catch.
Mhm.
And here you have to write HTTP localhost 444 mobile store mobiles, and after that you can type the ID of it. Done. So this is see, this is going to match up to here, right? After that, whatever you are writing, it will go to this variable. After that, path variable will read data from this variable and populate to MID. My job is done.
Method. Mm.
My job is done. All right. You would say,
Right.
again, can you run it to show to me? Yes. Let me do that. And my dear friends, I want when you come tomorrow for the session, tomorrow means in next session, you have to ensure you know this much, okay? No choice, please. And what I'm going to teach you next session, I will make you end-to-end flow, Anand, end-to-end flow. Basically, all the data will go in database and all, right? You will see the good example of service layer, data repository, Spring Data JPA.
Sure. I'll confirm it.
Yeah. So let's run it. I'm not going to teach you anything else. I want you guys should able to do this much. That's it. So if you want to call this URL resource, what I need to do? Nothing. You have to simply, you can guide me, right? You can come to the browser and here you can use delete method, Anand, delete. And after that, here you should not bother about other thing, right? Nothing, delete. And here you can pass the parameter. Make sense? Then send. When you send it, you see, Anand, request comes to here, right? Yeah, exactly. And this MID will have the same thing what you have sent from there. Can you see this? 9021 902182 902182. Yeah, you can debug it. I hope you know debugging. Otherwise, I'll teach you. Can you see this? I'm able to print the message, deleting mobile record from database. ID is this, and eventually I'm returning it, right? So when you return it, it will be converted into JSON data. Can you see this? Anand, because we have two attribute in this application view,
Yep.
code and mesh.
Message.
Anybody have any question, query, or you understand this much? Guys, you are not replying.
Understand this much. I'm good
Okay.
until this one.
So guys, I'm not planning to teach anything else. I want, if you know this much, you can do anything in the REST API. If you want, you can note down somewhere. What I said, if you know this much, you can design the REST API. So what I'm going to do in next session is,